Hi everyone. So friends, in this lecture we will see the demonstration of @CSV source annotation. So in our JUnit 5 project, in our test folder, I will be creating one test class. We'll give it a name as CSV source demo and we'll keep it in a package com.hubspot.junit5.parameterized_test.csv source. We'll click finish. So friends, inside our CSV source demo test class, here first we'll create a parameterized test. We'll create a method as CSV source demo test. So here I will be importing @parameterized test from org.junit.jupyter.params package. So friends, in our previous lecture we created one source file by name string helper. So inside this string helper we created one method reverse, which takes in an input, reverse this string and return us back the string. So here we will test this string helper reverse method using @CSV source. So first I will be creating the instance of string helper class. We will import string helper. So friends, here we know that string helper has reverse method where we will pass a string and will get back a string. So whatever we pass, it will be our input, and whatever we get, that would be our result, which we want to actually test using the asserts. So here we will use @CSV source and we will see that using the @CSV source annotation, we can just write this method once and we can test it with different values. So here we'll provide annotation CSV source. So friends, to @CSV source annotation, let's say I provide two values as car, and as we are providing two values here, so we'll separate it out by comma. Let's say I provide the reverse of car, say RAC. So friends, here you can see that we have separated these two values by comma, and also this annotation will inject these two values in CSV source demo test. So let's say the first value would be the input, which will simply pass to our reverse method, and let's say the second value what we expect from the reverse method. So I'll simply give the name as expect. So friends, here you can see that we are providing an input and our expectation that what this method should return when we pass the input as a string. So friends, we also know that if we reverse car, then we'll get the string as RAC. So here I will simply provide an assert equals, where my first value would be the expectation, so I'll simply give expect, and the second value would be our actual value, which is being returned from reverse method. So here I will simply import assert equals So friends, if I run this test case now, so here you can see that the test case got executed successfully. We can see a green bar, and here you can see that it shows that it ran one time with the values as car and rack. And here you can see that it also successfully tested our reverse method, where we passed an input and we also provided what we expect from the reverse method. So friends, here you can see the advantage. Now let's say if we want to test this reverse method with different values, what we used to do, we used to copy this test and paste it below, and we'll simply had to provide different values. But here we can just write our method once and we can simply provide different values in our @CSV source annotation. So here you can see that inside these brackets we can provide the multiple values like this. Let's say I provide a value as test, and if I reverse the test, I should get. So if I run this test case now, here you can see that CSV source demo test ran 2 times, one with the value car and rack, and other with the value test and tset. So friends, here you can test the same logic with simply multiple values using @CSV source annotation. And also friends, in our previous lecture we discussed that we can distinguish these multiple values with single quotes. So I'll simply copy this and paste it below. And let's say I'll simply remove this code and give a name to this method as with single quotes. I'll simply remove this and give the name as string first, second. And here you can see that my first string is car, and let's say if I want to provide the second string having spaces, commas, then what we need to do is we need to provide that value in single quotes, something like this. Let's say I give my car, and here I simply provide asserts as, let's say, assert not null, first, I will import assert not null, and if I run the test case, so here you can see that the test case got executed successfully because the string first and second were not null. And here if you see the values, what it passed for the first is car and the second would be my car, because that we have separated out by single quotes. Also friends, here we saw that @CSV source uses this comma to distinguish between the two values. But if we provide this comma inside our single quotes, then it will take this comma as part of this string only. So here if I run this again, so here you can see the second string is my comma space car. And also friends, if I just copy this Here let's say if I provide the empty single quotes, and if I run this test case now, you can see the string second will have empty value, something like this. And also friends, if you don't provide this single quotes, then this string second will be taken as null, because we have provided first value and then we have provided comma. So @CSV source expects that after comma there should be a value. If not provided, it will take it as null. So here if I just copy it, paste it below. Here I give the value, say book, and then I provide a comma, and then I simply leave it as it is. So if I run this test case, here string first will be taken as book and string second will be taken as null, and if we pass null value to assert not null, the test case would fail. So if I run the test case now, the test case should fail. So here you can see the test case ran 3 times for each CSV value. But for the third test case, you can see that we have provided only the first argument as book and we haven't provided any string value after comma. Therefore it took null. Also friend, here we can also provide the integer values which can be converted to string. So here if I simply copy this and paste it below, I'll simply remove these values and give a name to this test is CSV source demo with integers. So let's say the first value would be of my string. So I give a value as 1. And let's say I provide a string value. Here I simply give the value as 3. So if I run the test case now, you can see the test case got executed successfully. So here you can see that we called CSV source demo with integers providing string and integer. So it ran once with the value as 1 and 3. So here 3 was implicitly converted to integer and provided to this method. And also friend, if you have provided the integer value here and if you are providing any value which is not integer, let's say I give value as 2. So here @CSV source will try to convert this value 2 to integer, and if it fails, it will give us an exception. So I'll simply run it. So here you can see that it gave an error, and the error was parameter resolution exception, saying error converting parameter at index 1, and the message something like failed to convert string 2 to type java.lang.integer. So here it says that it failed to convert this value 2 to integer and therefore it gave an error. So friend, in this lecture we saw that how we can use @CSV source to provide different values which are comma separated and which can help to test our methods without writing much code. We also saw that how we can distinguish between the different values using the single quotes. We also saw that we can even provide the integer value as string literals which can be converted to integer implicitly. So friends, this was all about @CSV source annotation. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.